Dr. Ryan Hale had only been at St. Grace Hospital for 6 months, but every corner of the ICU already felt like home, an odd truth considering the sterile walls and steady hum of machines. At just 29, he was one of the youngest doctors on staff, yet he carried an old soul's compassion in his voice and movements. Patients weren't numbers to him, they were stories paused in mid-sentence, waiting for someone to turn the page. Room 417 was quiet, always quiet. Inside lay Evelyn Grant, late 50s, tall even lying down, her features elegant and aristocratic. A car accident had left her in a coma nearly 3 weeks earlier. No family had come forward, no visitors had called. Only a file marked high profile indicated her identity as a powerful business magnate, the CEO of one of the largest philanthropic foundations in the country. Her money could buy empires, but not consciousness. Ryan wasn't assigned to her, not technically. But each evening after rounds, he found himself drawn to that room. He'd sit for a few minutes, sometimes talk softly, and occasionally hum old songs his mother used to sing while folding laundry. He wasn't even sure why he did it. Maybe it was guilt, he'd once lost a patient who had died alone, and the thought had haunted him since. One Tuesday, while the nurses were short-staffed, Ryan stepped in to change Evelyn's bandages. Her forehead still bore a shallow gash, the kind that might one day fade but never fully disappear. He worked slowly, tenderly. "There you go, Ms. Grant," he murmured. "They say the sense of hearing is the last to go. If that's true, I hope my voice doesn't annoy you too much." Then he paused, unsure why he said what he did next. "I don't know what kind of life you had before this, but if you ever wake up, I hope you find something real waiting for you. Not boardrooms or bank accounts. Something that feels like peace." He didn't expect anything back. But just as he was securing the final piece of gauze, her fingers twitched. Ryan froze. He looked again. Nothing. "Maybe I imagined it," he whispered, though his pulse was racing. He notified the neurologist, but after several tests, the diagnosis remained unchanged, still in a coma. Yet Ryan couldn't shake the feeling something had shifted. Over the next few days, he kept visiting. Sometimes he brought flowers. Once he placed an old jazz record on a small speaker, unsure if Evelyn had liked that kind of music, but somehow it seemed right. His colleagues teased him, calling her his sleeping princess. He laughed it off, but part of him felt an ache, a quiet hope he didn't want to admit. Then came Thursday. Ryan was gently adjusting Evelyn's arm sling when her lips parted, just slightly. He stared, stunned. Then, just above a whisper, she murmured, "Where am I?" He fumbled for the emergency call button, stunned into silence. When the other doctors rushed in, they found Evelyn blinking slowly, struggling to understand the wires and tubes surrounding her. Her voice was hoarse, her movements sluggish, but she was awake. The room buzzed with activity, questions, monitors beeping louder than ever before. Over the following days, Evelyn improved in small, steady steps. She didn't talk much at first, though she always seemed calmest when Ryan entered the room. One afternoon, she asked for him specifically. He entered with his usual warm smile, a bouquet of white daisies in hand. "I wanted to thank you," she said quietly. "They told me you stayed. I just didn't want you to feel alone. You changed my bandages. You hummed songs. You spoke like I mattered. People haven't done that in years, not without a motive." Ryan chuckled. "Guess I didn't get the memo." Evelyn studied him for a long moment. "Do you know who I am?" "I do," he said, gently. "But that's not why I came." She looked away, her voice barely above a whisper. "For a long time, I thought power could protect me from loneliness. I was wrong. My whole life has been headlines and numbers. But that first night, when you spoke to me as if I were a person and not a name, something inside began to wake up. There was silence. The kind that doesn't need filling. Evelyn stayed at the hospital for 3 more weeks. Her recovery astonished the staff, but she often said it wasn't the medicine that healed her, it was kindness. On the day of her discharge, she asked Ryan to walk her to the lobby. "I don't think I'll ever be the same," she said. He smiled. "I hope not. The world needs less of the old version of all of us." She grinned at that, her first real smile since waking up. 6 months later, the story would hit the national news. Evelyn Grant had announced a new project through her foundation, a chain of non-profit healing centers designed to care not just for the body, but the spirit. Especially for those without family or financial means. The flagship center was named the Hale Sanctuary for Quiet Miracles. Reporters scrambled to uncover the origin. Some speculated it was an old family name, or perhaps a poetic idea. Only Evelyn and one young doctor knew the truth. When asked at the press conference about her decision, Evelyn simply said, "Sometimes, one person's voice in the dark is enough to bring someone back to life." As for Dr. Ryan Hale, he returned to his rounds as always. But every now and then, when passing room 417, now part of the new wing named in his honor, he would pause and smile, reminded that even a small act of human kindness can echo louder than fame, fortune, or even fate. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary awakenings begin with the gentlest touch.